Welcome, listeners, to a chilling journey where the mundane becomes monstrous. Imagine your everyday job as a support agent, a blur of metrics and routine, suddenly transforming into a battleground for reality itself when anomalous tickets from the past begin to appear in your queue. This is the world of Maya, a woman thrust into an inescapable loop where every click, every reply, every seemingly insignificant decision she makes ripples through time, altering destinies and fraying the very fabric of existence, forcing her to confront the horrifying truth that inaction carries consequences as dire as intervention. As her own memories blur and the world subtly shifts around her, Maya is plunged into a spiraling psychological nightmare, ultimately realizing that her loved ones are now tethered to this temporal chaos, trapping her as the unwilling operator of a system that demands constant, reality-altering choices. Join us as we unravel the terrifying tale of Support Ticket from Hell, a story of psychological suspense, existential dread, and the chilling realization that sometimes the most dangerous choices are the ones you never knew you were making. The following narrative is a work of fiction. Any similarity to real persons, living or dead, is strictly coincidental.
Chapter 1: The Routine and the Anomaly. Maya's world was a grid of glowing pixels, a symphony of clicks and the low hum of server racks. 47 tickets stared back at her from the queue when her shift began, each a tiny digital plea. A problem to be solved. A metric to be met. By 11 a.m. She'd dispatched 23. Her fingers a blur across the keyboard. Her mind a well-oiled machine processing data. Matching solutions. The dashboard, a benevolent overlord, glowed a reassuring green, *average. Resolution 4. 2 minutes. Keep it up. A faint, almost imperceptible smile touched her lips. The midday bonus, 50 tickets before 1 p.m., was within reach. A small but crucial buffer for her mom's prescription refill. She cracked her knuckles. A familiar ritual. Clicked the next ticket. And let the script, her digital assistant, do most of the heavy lifting. Subject: cannot connect to service. Product: Connect Plus Home Gateway. Account ID: 8821-0047. Submitted: 2025-02-0910:41:22 UTC. Checklist: Power cycle. LED sequence. Closed. Next. The rhythm was hypnotic. A comforting pulse in the sterile, air-conditioned office. Each closed ticket was a small victory. A tiny contribution to the smooth functioning of the digital universe. And more importantly, to her own precarious financial balance. She was good at this. Efficient. Detached. That was the key. Subject: billing discrepancy. Product: Cloud Vault Pro. Account ID: 9912-8834. Prorated credit. Note: closed. Next. Another one down. 48 to go. The clock on her screen ticked relentlessly. A silent countdown to her bonus. To her mom's medication. She was too short. Just 2. The third ticket made her pause. The rhythm faltered. A discordant note in the otherwise perfect symphony of her morning. Subject: unit will not accept dial tone. Product: Telelink 2400 modem. Account ID, not applicable, legacy. Submitted, 1987-03-1408:22:00 UTC. Asterisk IP, 10. 0. 0. 0, internal/reserved, asterisk. 1987. She blinked. Then blinked again. As if the date would resolve itself into something more current. More logical. It didn't. The product name, Telelink 2400 modem, was a ghost from the company's ancient past. A relic mentioned only in the dusty corners of the legacy FAQ, a modem from before the company had even been founded. A pre-internet dinosaur. Policy. Etched into the very fabric of core life support. Was clear, asterisk do not engage with invalid or legacy tickets. Escalate to systems. Asterisk escalating would mean paperwork. Explanations. A black mark on her efficiency metrics. And a guaranteed loss of her bonus. It would eat time she didn't have. Time her mom didn't have. The ticket body was brief. A few lines that seemed to hum with an impossible urgency. Asterisk the modem will not connect. We get a dial tone but no handshake. My daughter is waiting for a call. Please advise. Asterisk. Her stomach tightened. A cold knot forming beneath her ribs. A daughter. Waiting for a call. In 1987. It had to be a glitch. A system error. A phantom record. Her fingers. Usually so precise. Hesitated. But the bonus. Her mom. She typed the standard steps. The muscle memory of countless similar, yet vastly different tickets taking over. Line port. At NF. ATDT. Send. Resolved. She did not look at the date again. She couldn't. The green glow of the dashboard returned. A temporary balm to the prickle of unease that had begun to spread through her. Lunch was a blur of lukewarm coffee and stale pastry. She scrolled through the news on her phone. A mindless escape from the digital demands of her job. A small headline. Almost lost amidst the celebrity gossip and political scandals. Snagged her attention, asterisk local woman. 34. Found after missing 38 years. Asterisk she didn't click. The words hung in the periphery of her awareness. A faint echo of the impossible date she just dismissed. When she looked up, Jen, from the next row of cubicles, was frowning at her screen. A perplexed expression twisting her usually cheerful face. You okay? Maya asked. Her voice a little too sharp. A little too quick. Jen sighed, running a hand through her short, spiky hair. Weird. I could have sworn the Marshall Building was on 5th. Someone just said it's always been on 7th. She shrugged. A gesture of dismissal. Maybe I'm mixing it up with another city. Maya offered a non-committal grunt. Her gaze already drifting back to her own screen. To the ever-present queue. She had 26 tickets left. She did not think about the Marshall Building. Not then. Not really. Ticket number 8842 landed in her queue at 2:15 p.m. A digital harbinger of deepening dread. Subject, unit will not accept dial tone, ticket number 7721. Product, Telelink 2400 modem. Submitted, 1987-03-1506:11:00 UTC. Her breath hitched. Ticket number 7721. Hers. From this morning. The date on this new ticket was March 15th, 1987. The day after. The words on the screen blurred. Then sharpened. Each one a hammer blow to her carefully constructed detachment. Asterisk, thank you for your reply. We followed the steps. The modem connected. My daughter spoke to her friend. She was so relieved. But the line went dead after 12 minutes and now she is missing. The police say she left the house. We cannot find her. Can you tell us if the modem dropped the call? Is there a log? We need to know what happened. Please. Asterisk. Maya's stomach dropped. A sickening lurch that left her lightheaded. This wasn't a glitch. This wasn't a test. This was real. Her reply. A few lines of generic troubleshooting. Had reached someone in 1987. And a daughter was missing. Her hands, usually so steady, began to tremble. A fine tremor that spread through her arms, up to her shoulders. She searched the knowledge base. A desperate, futile attempt to find an explanation. A way out. Nothing. She couldn't escalate. The customer says their daughter went missing in 1987. She'd be flagged. She'd lose her job. Her hands were already moving, typing a reply that felt hollow, inadequate. A cruel echo of her earlier detachment. Asterisk, we are sorry to hear about your situation. Telelink 2400 units do not store call logs. We recommend contacting your telephone provider and local authorities. Regards. Support. Asterisk, resolved. Her hands would not stop shaking. The green glow of the dashboard seemed to mock her. A silent accusation. That night, sleep was a distant, unwelcome concept. The words from the ticket replayed in her mind. A haunting loop. Asterisk, my daughter is waiting for a call. She spoke to her friend. She was so relieved. Now she is missing. Asterisk, she pulled up the news article she'd skipped at lunch. Asterisk, local woman. 34. Found after missing 38 years. Asterisk, the woman had disappeared in 1987. Found last week. Alive. The article did not say modem. It did not say phone call. It did not say daughter. Maya thought about texting Priya, her younger sister, a lifeline to her normal world. She didn't. She couldn't articulate the swirling terror, the impossible truth that was beginning to solidify in her mind. Coincidence. It had to be. She closed the tab, plunging her room into darkness. The silence was absolute, suffocating. The first cracks in her reality had begun to spiderweb across the fragile glass of her perception. Chapter 2, Shifting Sands and Deepening Dread. The next morning, the world felt subtly off-kilter. The coffee tasted a little different. The fluorescent lights hummed with a more aggressive buzz. And the faces of her colleagues seemed just a shade less familiar. Maya tried to rationalize it away. Lack of sleep. Stress. The lingering phantom chill of the 1987 ticket. It had to be a prank. A sophisticated system glitch. A collective hallucination brought on by too much screen time. Her own exhaustion, she told herself, was playing tricks on her. Yet, a seed of paranoia had been planted. A tiny, insidious thing that began to sprout in the fertile ground of her unease. Every glance from a colleague, every system notification, every flicker of the office lights seemed imbued with a new, sinister meaning. 2 days later, another ticket landed in her queue. A fresh wound in the fabric of her sanity. Subject: request to disconnect service. Product: SafeWatch home alarm, discontinued. Account ID: 4421. Submitted: 1992-11-0814:00:00 UTC. Asterisk customer, R. Torres. 114 Oak Lane, Millbrook. Asterisk. Asterisk I need to disconnect the alarm. I am moving and the new tenant will install their own. Please confirm disconnection by November 9th. Thank you. Asterisk. 1992. Another impossible date. Another discontinued product. Policy screamed at her to escalate. To pass this impossible burden to someone else. But the memory of the missing daughter. The shaking hands. The cold dread. Held her captive. She couldn't. Not yet. Instead, her fingers, acting almost independently, opened a second browser tab. She searched 114 Oak Lane, Millbrook, 1992. She found an obituary. The words were stark, unforgiving. Asterisk Rosa Torres. 114 Oak Lane, Millbrook. Died November 9th, 1992. Survived by her son. Asterisk. The requested disconnection was for November 9th. The obituary was for November 9th. The date of death was the day after the requested disconnection. Her mouth went dry, a metallic taste coating her tongue. She searched again. SafeWatch alarm, Millbrook, 1992. One hit. Buried deep in an old forum. A single, chilling comment, asterisk if the alarm was off. The break-in wouldn't have been reported in time. Asterisk. She had no way to know if that was true. She had no way to know if replying did anything. She had no way to know if not replying did anything. The weight of the decision pressed down on her. A crushing burden. She told herself she was not responsible for the past. The past had already happened. These were just tickets. Glitches. But the image of Rosa Torres. Alive on November 8th. Dead on November 9th. Haunted her. If she confirmed disconnection, would the alarm be off? Would someone break in? Would Rosa Torres die? If she didn't reply, would the alarm stay on? Would something else happen? She had no way to know. She was adrift in a sea of impossible choices. Each one a potential ripple in the fabric of time. Her fingers moved, typing a reply that felt like a desperate gamble. Asterisk thank you for your request. Asterisk she was making it up. Fabricating a scenario. A lie to keep the alarm on. Asterisk SafeWatch disconnection requires a technician visit. We have scheduled a technician for November 10th. 1992. Your alarm will remain active until then. Regards. Support. Asterisk she resolved the ticket. The office hummed around her. Oblivious. Her heart would not slow down. A frantic drumbeat against her ribs. The next morning, the first thing she did was search. Asterisk Rosa Torres, Millbrook. Asterisk the obituary was still there. Asterisk died November 9th, 1992. Asterisk nothing had changed. Or had it? Maybe her reply hadn't done anything. Maybe it had. She couldn't tell. The ambiguity was a torment. A constant whisper of doubt. She closed the browser. The digital world suddenly too vast. Too unknowable. She did not know what that meant. She was not sure she wanted to. That afternoon. A new ticket. The queue. An insatiable maw. Demanded more. Subject, account locked, father in hospital. Product, HealthLink patient access. Submitted, 2007-08-2211:34:00 UTC. Asterisk customer, M. Vasquez asterisk. Asterisk my account is locked. I cannot access my father's medical records. He is in the hospital. The nurses need his history. I have been on hold for an hour. Please unlock my account. This is time sensitive. Please. Asterisk. 2007. Another wrong date. Her finger hovered over the reply field. A chasm opening beneath her. If she replied, would she change something? If she didn't, would someone die? The memory of the missing daughter. The unchanged obituary. The chilling forum comment. All swirled in her mind. She could not prove the tickets did anything. She could not prove they didn't. She was too scared to find out. The weight of the previous choices. The uncertainty of their impact. Paralyzed her. She closed the ticket without answering. Asterisk resolved. Customer advised to contact facility medical records directly. Asterisk she had not typed a single word to the customer. The cursor blinked. A mocking eye on her screen. She took the next ticket. A desperate attempt to lose herself in the mundane. To escape the impossible choices. The follow-up appeared the next morning. Same thread. A cold, hard punch to the gut. Subject, account locked, father in hospital. Submitted, 2007-08-2308:12:00 UTC. Asterisk you closed my ticket. You didn't help. He died this morning. They didn't have his history in time. Why didn't you help? Why? Asterisk. Maya read it. She read it again. The words burning into her retina. Searing themselves onto her soul. She did not reply. She couldn't. The guilt was a physical weight. Pressing down on her. Stealing her breath. She resolved the ticket. Her movements mechanical. Devoid of thought. She sat there. Hands in her lap. Staring blankly at the screen. Someone. A blurred figure from the next cubicle. Asked if she was okay. She mumbled that she was fine. She was not fine. She did not open the next ticket for 12 minutes. The longest 12 minutes of her life. The world. Once a solid, predictable place. Was now shifting sand beneath her feet. And every step she took. Every choice she made. Seemed to send ripples through time itself. Chapter 3, The Unraveling and the Personal Stakes. A week passed. Marked by an escalating sense of isolation. Maya avoided the news. The headlines now feeling like personal attacks. Twisted reflections of her own actions. She avoided Jen. whose casual remarks about shifting realities had become too close for comfort. Her routine, once a source of detached efficiency, transformed into a desperate shield against the unsettling truth. Each closed ticket, each perfectly met metric, was a perverse comfort. A fragile illusion of control in a world that was rapidly unraveling. She was a ghost in her own life, moving through the motions, her mind a maelstrom of impossible questions. Then the queue presented her with another impossible choice. Another echo from a past she was now inextricably linked to. Subject, password reset, urgent. Product, Mednet Patient Portal, Beta. Asterisk account, Dr. E. Walsh. Mercy General asterisk. Submitted, 2003-06-1209:00:00 UTC. Asterisk I cannot access the portal. I need to prescribe medication for a patient before noon. Patient ID 8892. Without access the prescription will be delayed. The patient is 7 years old. I am begging you. I have 1 hour. Please reset my password immediately. Asterisk. The word 7 years old hit her with the force of a physical blow. The Vasquez ticket. The father who died because she chose inaction, flashed in her mind. Her internal battle raged. She should not search. She knew this. But the desperate plea, the image of a child, compelled her. She searched. Asterisk Dr. E. Walsh Mercy General 2003. Asterisk patient 8892. Asterisk she found a lawsuit. A child had died after a delayed prescription. The doctor had been unable to access the system in time. The family had sued. The case had settled. Maya stared at the ticket. At the words I am begging you. The lawsuit was a cold, hard fact. The child had died. In her timeline. But what if? What if her reply could change it? What if she could save this child? The despair that her actions might be futile. Or that she was merely choosing which tragedy occurred, was overwhelming. The thought that she was stuck in this timeline, a helpless observer, was a torment. Yet, the memory of Vasquez, the crushing guilt, pushed her. She reset the password. Asterisk support 2023. Asterisk she knew it was wrong to use such a generic, easily guessable password. But it didn't matter. Nothing mattered but the possibility. Asterisk please change it at first login. Regards. Support. Asterisk resolved. Her fingers trembled. But this time, it was with a desperate hope. She searched again for the lawsuit. It was still there. The child had still died. A wave of nausea washed over her. Maybe her reply hadn't worked. Maybe it had worked in another branch of history. And she was stuck in this one. A prisoner of a fixed past. Or maybe, just maybe, the lawsuit was from a different doctor. A different patient. And her action had indeed saved this specific child. The ambiguity was a fresh hell. She stopped searching. She would not search again. She did not know if that was a promise she could keep. Later that day, a desperate need for confirmation. For a shared reality. Gnawed at her. She approached Jen's cubicle. Her voice carefully neutral. That place you mentioned. Marshall. Still think it was on 5th? Jen looked up. Her brow furrowed in confusion. What building? Maya's heart sank. Last week. You said you could have sworn the Marshall building was on 5th. Someone said 7th. Jen's face was blank, devoid of recognition. I didn't say that. I don't know what you're talking about. She turned back to her screen, dismissing Maya with a shrug. Maybe you're thinking of someone else. Maya did not push. The interaction solidified her deepest fear. Reality was actively being rewritten around her. And she was the only one who remembered the discrepancies. She was alone in this. A solitary witness to the unraveling of time. That night, she tried to remember the street of her mom's old apartment. The one they'd lived in when Priya was born. 7th? 9th? The memory would not come. Slippery and elusive. Like a word on the tip of her tongue. She pulled up an old photo. A faded snapshot of her childhood. The building was there. A familiar brick facade. But the street sign? It was not in the frame. Or it was. She could not tell. The details blurred. Shifted. Refused to coalesce into a concrete memory. She put the phone down. The cold glass a poor substitute for the warmth of certainty. She did not sleep for a long time. The silence of her apartment amplifying the growing terror within her. Her dreams, when they finally came, were not a refuge but an extension of her waking nightmare. She was at the keyboard. Her fingers flying across the keys. Resolving tickets from impossible dates. But then, the perspective shifted. She was inside the screen. A pixelated figure trapped within the glowing interface of the core life support system. A ticket opened. Its subject line her own name. Asterisk account, Maya Chen. Submitted, November 3, 1998. Subject, I need help. I don't know who I am. Asterisk she reached for the keyboard. Her own hands. But they were also the hands of the operator within the screen. The lines blurred. The identities merged. She was the one at the keyboard. She was the one in the ticket. She could not tell which. The dream was a direct manifestation of her existential crisis. A terrifying glimpse into the possibility that her very identity was a construct. A mutable data point within the system she served. She woke up with a gasp. The phantom chill of the dream clinging to her. Her heart hammering against her ribs. She could not breathe. She had been born in 1998. She lay there until the window went gray. The first weak light of dawn doing little to dispel the encroaching darkness. It was only a dream. It was only a dream. She repeated the words like a mantra. A desperate attempt to ward off the encroaching madness. Chapter 4, The Unseen Hand and the System's Grip. The days bled into weeks. Each one a monotonous cycle of tickets and an escalating internal terror. Maya's work had become a desperate, almost ritualistic, attempt to navigate the shifting currents of reality. She no longer searched for consequences after sending a reply. The fear of what she might find. Or worse, what she might not find, the unchanged obituaries. The persistent lawsuits, was too great. Her replies, once carefully considered, became increasingly automated. A coping mechanism against the overwhelming weight of her choices. Scripted. Neutral. Close. Her metrics remained impeccable. A testament to her efficiency. a perverse badge of honor in her private hell. Her phone buzzed with a text from Priya, *, "You okay? You've been weird." * Maya typed a quick, dismissive reply, *, "Just tired." * She placed the phone face down. The screen a dark mirror reflecting her growing withdrawal. Priya's concern was a painful reminder of the world she was slowly losing touch with. A world where causality was linear and memories were stable. Her job, this impossible task, was consuming her, severing the ties that bound her to normalcy. New anomalous tickets continued to appear, each one a fresh assault on her sanity. A router not forwarding port 443. Submitted in 2011. A small business, she vaguely recalled from a fleeting news report, had been hit by a breach that spring. She didn't know if her reply would cause it or prevent it. She sent generic troubleshooting steps. Her eyes closed for a brief, desperate moment, wishing for oblivion. Another, cannot receive email. Submitted in 1998. The customer's domain had been linked to a scam years later. She replied. She didn't search. The act of searching had become a self-inflicted wound. Each discovery a confirmation of her powerlessness. Or worse, her complicity. She began to question the very nature of the core life support system. Was it sentient? A malevolent entity playing a cruel game? Or merely a glitch? A catastrophic cascade of errors that had somehow gained sentience? A digital god playing with timelines? The thought that it might be her, that she was somehow the nexus of these temporal distortions, was a terrifying whisper in the back of her mind. She began to suspect a larger, unseen force at play, orchestrating these events, pulling the strings of past and present with an indifferent hand. The subtle environmental changes, once dismissed as fatigue or imagination, became undeniable. The Core Life logo on her coffee cup, usually a crisp blue, was sometimes a faded teal. The office layout, familiar down to the last potted plant, would occasionally shift. A cubicle wall slightly repositioned. A water cooler appearing where a printer once stood. Colleagues' names would sometimes catch her off guard. Jen, who had always been Jen, was once, for a fleeting moment, Jan. These small, insidious shifts contributed to her profound sense of derealization. A terrifying feeling that she was losing her mind. That the world itself was a fluid, unstable construct. One evening, as the office emptied and the fluorescent lights hummed their lonely song, Maya stayed late. She opened a blank document, her fingers hovering over the keyboard. She wanted to write it all down, to document the impossible, to prove to herself that she wasn't insane. But what would she write? How could she explain the shifting dates, the altered histories, the deaths she might have caused or prevented? The words felt inadequate, flimsy against the monumental strangeness of her experience. She closed the document, the blank screen a reflection of her own emptiness. She was trapped. The queue an endless loop of past tragedies and potential futures. The dream sequence, once a singular nightmare, had become a recurring torment, hinting at her own origin within the system. A terrifying suggestion that she was not merely an operator, but a part of the machine itself. The lines between her identity and the system blurred, threatening to erase her entirely. She was a cog, a function, A node in a network she could not comprehend, let alone control. The system's grip tightened. Slowly, inexorably, around her very being. Chapter 5, The Operator and the Choice. The Tuesday arrived like any other. Yet Maya felt a prickle of anticipation. A cold dread that had become her constant companion. The queue. An endless river of digital despair. Flowed onward. Then, it appeared. A ticket unlike any other. Its subject line a stark, impossible command. Subject, do not reset, do not reply. Her breath hitched. A sharp, involuntary intake of air. She clicked. Her finger trembling. The details unfolded. Each line a confirmation of her deepest, most terrifying suspicions. Product, Core Life Support System. Account, Assigned Agent. Submitted, 2025-0914:32:00 UTC. Ticket ID, 9912. Asterisk if you are reading this. You are the operator. Do not reply to this ticket. Any reply may overwrite your timeline. Some operators have been edited and do not remember. Close this ticket without response. Close the ticket. Asterisk. Her queue. Her screen. Assigned agent, was her. The words screamed off the screen. A direct address. A chilling revelation. Asterisk you have already been edited once. You do not remember. Asterisk the cold dread that had been a prickle now consumed her. A glacial wave washing over her. She thought of Jen. Her blank stare when confronted about the Marshall Building. She thought of her mom's street. The elusive memory. She thought of the woman found after 38 years. A life altered. A past rewritten. She thought of the Vasquez follow-up, asterisk he died this morning. Asterisk had she been edited? Was her current reality a construct? A carefully curated timeline designed to keep her in this loop? And if so, how would she even know? The very act of questioning felt like a betrayal of her own existence. An intense internal debate raged within her. A silent scream against the explicit instruction. Asterisk do not reply to this ticket. Any reply may overwrite your timeline. Asterisk the terrifying possibility that she was already a product of these edits. A puppet dancing on the strings of a cosmic system. Was almost unbearable. Her finger hovered over the resolve button. A moment of immense tension. A precipice between two terrifying unknowns. If she closed it without replying, nothing would change. She would stay here. In this timeline. This job. This life. A prisoner of her own awareness. But if she replied, what would she even say? And what would be the cost? Would she overwrite herself? Would she become someone else entirely? A new Maya with a new past. A new set of memories. Blissfully unaware of the horrors she had witnessed. The thought was more terrifying than any death. She didn't reply. Her finger, heavy with the weight of her decision, pressed resolve. The ticket vanished. The queue refreshed. 46 tickets. Then 47. Then 50. New tickets appeared. Old dates. Names she did not recognize. Names she did. The immediate aftermath was a strange blend of relief and profound emptiness. She had made a choice. She had followed the instruction. But at what cost? Had she condemned herself to this endless loop? This solitary existence as the keeper of timelines? She could stop. She could walk away. She could report the system. Scream about the temporal anomalies. The shifting realities. And let someone else become the operator. The thought was a fleeting temptation. A desperate plea for escape. She stood. Grabbed her bag. The worn leather a familiar comfort in her trembling hand. She glanced at the next ticket in the list. A final, almost involuntary act before fleeing this digital prison. Asterisk account P. Chen. Asterisk. Asterisk subject, cannot reach my sister. Asterisk. She sat back down. The air left her lungs in a ragged gasp. Priya. Her sister. The ticket was dated today. February 9th, 2025. She didn't open it. She didn't have to. The words were a cold, undeniable truth. If she left, the cue would go to someone else. The next ticket might be for Priya. For her mom. For someone she loved. In a timeline she could never fix. She couldn't walk away. She understood that now. She had always understood it. She had just not wanted to see it. The system had found her weakness. Her anchor to this reality. And had used it to bind her. She was the operator. She was the choice. And her choice was to stay. She looked at the ticket after that. The next in the endless queue. A new burden. A new responsibility. Chapter 6, The Endless Loop and the Acceptance. The next ticket in the queue was a familiar ghost. A chilling echo from the very beginning of her unraveling. It was the 1987 ticket. The one about the missing sister. But this time, the subject line carried a new, more desperate plea. Subject, my sister is missing. Asterisk submitted, March 15, 1987. Asterisk. Asterisk we never found her. You told us to contact the police. They said she left. Can you tell us anything else? Can you look again? Please. Asterisk. Maya opened it. Not with hope. But with a weary, profound acceptance. The initial shock. The frantic searches. The desperate attempts to change or understand. Had all coalesced into a heavy, dull resignation. She knew. With a certainty that chilled her to the bone. That her reply would likely change nothing. The sister was already gone. Or already saved. In a timeline she could not fully grasp. Yet, she also knew that not replying was a choice. A decision that carried its own weight. Its own consequences. Every choice, she realized, was a kind of reply. A ripple in the vast, unknowable ocean of time and causality. Her fingers moved, typing the familiar, generic words. Each keystroke a testament to her emotional exhaustion. Her profound resignation. Asterisk thank you for contacting support. We are sorry for your loss. We have no additional information. Regards. Support. Asterisk the words felt hollow. Inadequate. A cruel mockery of the raw pain contained within the customer's plea. She hit send. Resolved. The ticket vanished. Replaced by the next in the endless queue. The cycle continued. Unbroken. Unyielding. This was her new normal. The queue was endless. A relentless stream of digital pleas from past, present, and future. Tickets from 1987, 1992, 2003, 2007, 2011, 2020, and even dates that hadn't happened yet, blended into a continuous, overwhelming flow. Her metrics remained perfect, a testament to her efficiency. Her unwavering dedication to a task she now understood was her inescapable fate. She was the operator, the keeper of timelines, the one who remembered, or tried to, burdened by a knowledge that set her apart, isolated her. The subtle changes in reality continued, a constant, unsettling hum beneath the surface of her perception. But she no longer fought them. She merely observed. A detached chronicler of the world's quiet unraveling. The core life support system, once a mere employer, had transformed into something vast, incomprehensible. Was it a benevolent entity gone rogue? Its algorithms twisting time in a misguided attempt at optimization? A malevolent force, toying with human lives for some inscrutable purpose? Or perhaps, most terrifyingly, a self-correcting mechanism, a cosmic immune system responding to anomalies. And she, Maya, was merely a tool, a biological interface for its grand design? The ambiguity was a constant companion, a silent question that echoed in the quiet corners of her mind. Its vastness, its power, was beyond her comprehension. Yet she was intimately bound to it. Maya was no longer the detached, metrics-driven employee from Chapter 1. That Maya had died 1,000 deaths, each one a consequence of a choice made or avoided. She was now a tragic figure, burdened by knowledge and responsibility, forever trapped in a loop of cosmic customer service. Her humanity, once a vibrant, complex tapestry, was slowly being stripped away, replaced by the stark, unyielding function of the operator. Her personal life, once a source of comfort and connection, had receded, replaced by the all-consuming demands of the queue. Priya's texts went unanswered, Jen's bewildered glances unnoticed. She was a sentinel, a silent guardian of a reality that was constantly in flux. A reality she herself was actively shaping with every resolved ticket. She looked at the next ticket, its subject line a blur of pixels, its date a mystery yet to be revealed. Her hand moved, a practiced, almost automatic gesture. The cycle continued. The queue would never end. And she, Maya, was the one sitting at the screen, forever making choices, forever sending replies, forever entangled in the support ticket from hell. The weight of it all was immense, crushing. Yet there was a strange, cold resolve in her eyes. She was here. She was doing it. And that, in itself, was a kind of existence. The end was not an escape, but merely the beginning of the next ticket, the next choice, the next ripple in the endless stream of time.
And so, we leave Maya, forever bound to the endless queue, an operator in a system that blurs the lines between past, present, and a future she can only influence, never truly control. Her story, a chilling reminder that even the most mundane tasks can hide cosmic horrors, and that every choice, every reply, echoes through the vast, unknowable expanse of time. What did you think of Maya's journey into the heart of the core life support system? Did her choices resonate with you? Do you believe she truly had free will, or was she merely a pawn in a larger, unseen game? We want to hear your theories, your interpretations, and your own thoughts on the terrifying implications of a support ticket from hell. If you were as engrossed by Maya's tale as we were, please take a moment to like this episode, share it with a friend who loves a good psychological thriller, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us continue to explore these unsettling narratives and bring you more stories that challenge your perception of reality. Until next time, remember, sometimes the scariest monsters aren't under your bed, but lurking in your inbox.